Hey guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I just want to sit down and do a get ready with me, testing a bunch of new releases and just chatting with you guys because I feel like, first of all, I feel like I haven't done that in a long time and I always love doing these videos just as both a creative outlet and an emotional outlet, just getting to play with makeup while also talking. Today's kind of makeup therapy, but also I'll be reviewing a bunch of like cool new releases. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoy this one and let's get right into it. I'm going to be using pretty much all new releases today, so figured I would start off with something that I've been very much excited about and loving. I feel like a lot of brands, ColourPop, are releasing like watermelon themed things for summer, which Ciate London recently came out with their Watermelon Burst Hydrating Primer and then a Watermelon Burst Hydrating Lip Oil. So I haven't put on lip balm yet, so I'm just going to apply some of this. That is delightful. It doesn't taste like real watermelon, it tastes like good watermelon. Those are two completely separate things. And my skin has been very dry. I thought because it was summer, my skin was going to be like thriving, getting a little bit like less disgusting. But I live in the desert, so that's cool. And let's start off with the first question, which I have written down in my notebook because I am neurotic. Number 1, how's your anxiety going? Wow, we're starting off with the hard-hitting questions. Okay, I'm gonna just do probably like a pump and a half of this primer. So to respond to your question, surprisingly not good. I really thought that like I would be really thriving mentally during summer just because I'm on break. I don't have anything I need to be like super stressing about. But sometimes even though I shouldn't have anything that I'm anxious about, I'm still anxious, and that's what I'm going through right now. About a week and a half ago, I noticed myself developing an eye twitch, and I actually caught it on camera before I started filming this, so I'll insert that clip here. And it doesn't hurt, but it's just like really weird. It's this nerve around the outer corner of my eye, and I've WebMD'd myself. It says I have eye cancer, pretty 99% sure it's just an eye tic caused by stress. So yeah, not really doing the best, but it could be a lot worse, and that's just something I keep saying to myself. It could be a lot worse. Foundation today, I'm going to be using the Pacifica A Light Foundation. This is a vegan, I think like all natural brand found at Target. I've heard a lot of really good things about this, mostly from like Casey Holmes. I know I love a dewy foundation, so we're going to use this today. So I've used this a couple times, but I'm still trying to develop my thoughts on it. And I picked up the shade Neutral Light. Okay, question number 2. What do you wish people knew about being a beauty influencer? This is a good one because I feel like it's one I probably would have asked before I started doing this. Something I really wish people knew is just how microcosmic it really feels. Even for smaller influencers, it always feels, it's a lot of pressure to feel like a lot of people are watching you or looking to you for anything, whether that's just like an opinion or expecting certain things from you. One thing I really wish viewers understood was just like, creators don't really owe you anything in their personal life. I, for one, am very private about certain things, mainly just like my education and a lot of my personal life. I just don't like sharing details like that online very much, but most of you guys are incredibly respectful of that. Good, healthy boundaries. I love you. But of course, there are always some people who just feel like just because you talk about certain things online that I should also be equally as open in other avenues and that they're entitled to that information even though I don't want to give it. Boundaries. Oh, but the other one that I wanted to say. I feel like beauty influencers in particular get a lot of backlash for doing sponsorships or even just like having ads, and that's not really something you see in a lot of other communities. So for example, like in the gaming community or the podcast community or literally almost any other YouTube area, it's completely normal to have sponsors. A lot of people have sponsors on every video. I usually do like 1 or 2 sponsorships a month, if even that. I feel like in the beauty community especially, if you have a lot of ads on a video or if you have more than one sponsor in a row, people get like mad at you. The way I kind of look at it is that YouTube is kind of like the new media of TV. It's pretty similar, except instead of big, gigantic companies, it's individual creators creating content. And especially when you first start out, you're not making any money. So it doesn't really come at any cost to the viewers. Viewers can sit and watch like a 20-minute video, basically getting the full amount of content that you would get out of watching like a 20-minute episode of The Big Bang Theory, except Big Bang Theory has like 5 ad breaks in between, and each ad break is about 2 minutes, whereas for me, if I had a 20-minute video, I'd probably put maybe like 3 ads on that video, and each of those ads is like 10 seconds, and most of them are skippable. I hope I don't sound like a bitch or anything. This doesn't get misconstrued or anything. I definitely think that there are a lot of YouTubers who are money hungry and will do anything for the cash. But I think there's a difference between being money hungry and just generally wanting payment for the work that they do. The audiences really only see the final product, which is the nice 20 to 30 minute video that a creator puts out. But behind that video, it'd be like 1 to 3 hours in filming, and then for me, like 6 to 10 hours of editing, another hour to 2 hours of just like behind the scenes things, getting the description box ready. But again, by people, I don't mean most people. I think a lot of people understand that this is a thing. This foundation is extremely glowy. I don't know if you guys are like picking up on that nice sheen on my face, but it really blended out nicely, probably because I was rambling while I blended. It does feel a little bit sticky and wet to the touch, so I think it's definitely one that has to be set down, which we will do after concealer. I will be using the CoverFX Power Play Concealer. And next question asks, single or taken?
Is that like a personal attack or something?
Okay.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because...
Currently I'm single, and I'm happy being single. Normally I'm single looking to mingle, but right now I'm just really trying to enjoy myself. The last relationship I was in was short-lived and ended not the greatest. So right now I'm just trying to just hang out, relax during summer, and not really looking for anything right now. Single Pringle. Single Pringles. Ooh, okay, I'm loving how the base is looking so far. I'm just gonna go ahead and set everything down with the Fenty Beauty Lavender Powder under my eyes. Okay, next is contouring. I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty Tantour in the shade Fair. And the next question, what was your first time like, and advice? Cool. Under any other circumstance, I would not feel comfortable answering that, but I feel like I have a pretty good lesson to give for this one, so I'm gonna. Sorry, Mom. So basically my first sexual experience was not really consensual on my part. It wasn't rape, but basically I was too scared to say no. I kind of got to a point where I was like, in order to get out of the situation, it would just be easier to say yes and get it over with. It wasn't that good, but the first time never really is, from what I can tell. And just that whole situation left me with a really bad taste in my mouth. I wouldn't say necessarily trauma because I'm not traumatized. And it really just made me realize this problem that I have with trying to please people and not necessarily taking what I want into account. Ultimately, what I learned is I should have been firmer in saying no. And really the only advice I can give you is just make sure you are 100% comfortable with whatever you do, because if you're not, it's gonna follow you for a while. And while I definitely think that your first time is always going to be not a comfortable experience just because it's like new and foreign and usually not very fun, it should never be something that causes you pain or discomfort or a huge amount of regret when you look back on it, and that was mine. So strangely enough, even though that's a story I wouldn't tell people who are really close to me, it's something I feel comfortable sharing with strangers online. I think it's, if anything, a teachable moment. Sometimes a really murky thing, like the person I was with, I don't think that he thought he was doing anything wrong. He just didn't necessarily understand that I was very, very uncomfortable in the situation, and ultimately that when I did say yes, it was just to get out of that situation. So honestly, because I just shared that, I will be surprised if I actually end up uploading this video, but if I do, it's because I felt like this story was worth sharing because it's something that people can learn from. And yeah, that's kind of my advice, is just make sure you're comfortable and make sure you're safe, and if you're not, get out of there, and I'm with you. Just gonna set my face really quickly with the Hourglass Veil Powder just all over. I don't like powdering all over my face anymore just because I feel like it really makes my skin look craggly as all hell. But this definitely is a very dewy, kind of sticky to the touch foundation, which I don't normally love that finish. Like, I like a dewy finish, but I don't like it to feel like it's gonna slip off my face if I happen to like touch my forehead. Just to help it dry down a little bit, I'm just gonna lightly powder everything. For bronzer today, I'm going to be using the Jouer Bronzer Duos. I really, really like this formula. It's a very kind of like a bouncy powder formula, so it feels, so it's definitely a powder, but it blends super, super easily. It's kind of like a silky finish. Question number 5, do you have anything weighing down on you that you've been too scared to talk about until now? Yeah, so something has been weighing down on me for a little bit, because last month, I want to say, after the Bye Sister video came out from Tarte, like it was a polite denouncing, but basically I acted on the information that I had, basically assuming that everything that Tarte said was 100% fact, and now I don't really trust anyone. So I just want to kind of apologize for that. I felt kind of a responsibility to make a sort of statement just because I've recommended the James Charles palette so many times, and I've actively liked both him and Tarte that I felt like I had to kind of pick a side. And because I know that this is the beauty community and there's going to be drama like this in the future, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't feel like I should have to pay for the mistakes of others and take a side in something that doesn't really concern me. So this is my apology to you guys. I'm sorry for reacting without having both sides and all the information. I did a petty thing, this, with my palette, and I said that I would take off the petty things I taped on there when I felt like I was at a place where I could be back on his side again. And I took those things off because it's just relics of a drama that is pointless and unnecessary and just a result of two people who couldn't be mature adults long enough to have a conversation. So basically, in conclusion, I'm over it. I think it's dumb.
Well, just as I thought, trash.
So yeah, that is something that's been weighing on me that I've wanted to put into words, but I really haven't found the way to, if that makes sense. As well as everything else in this video is stuff that's been weighing on me. I'm just kind of ranting to you guys. Because who needs therapy when you have a YouTube channel, am I right?
I don't need friends. They disappoint me.
Next up is blush. I'm going to be using the Kylie Cosmetics Pink Power Blush. I've been really loving the Kylie single powder products lately, and this blush, normally I don't like pinky blushes like this one, but this really just gives a nice like kiss of, is it cotton candy? Vaguely, but it's cute. And question number 6 was just one word, sexuality, question mark? So I'm straight. I went through a period in like my sophomore, junior year of high school where I was just kind of like, am I bisexual? Maybe. I think it's only natural to like question your own sexuality, but I have concluded that I'm straight. I'm a 2 on the Kinsey scale, if that means anything to anyone. But yeah, there's my straightforward answer. I'm so sorry for that pun. Wow.
No.
For brows today, I'm just going to use my tried and true, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brush Pomade in the shade Ash Brown. And question number 7 is, when are you moving up to LA? Scary life changes, basically. So when I'm filming this, it's the end of June, and I will be moving up to Los Angeles full-time for school in early September. So I've got a little bit of time left. To be honest, it's not that big of a move. It's literally like an hour away. But it's gonna be sad. I feel like I'm going to have to make a lot of new friends, which is probably the biggest thing I'm nervous about, just because I'm really close with a lot of people, and I'm good at making friends, but I also have trust issues. But I'm super excited for a new beginning. I will be doing like a big like moving to Los Angeles makeup declutter, and I'm filming that, so get ready for that content coming probably in August. I'm excited. I've never moved before. The longest I've ever lived somewhere that wasn't my home was I lived for 1 month in New York, but that was it. I really could not be more excited. Okay, I'm going to move on to eyes now, and for eyelids, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills new eye primer. I hate the packaging of this so incredibly much. Basically, when the second that you open it, you have to work really quickly because it just starts spurting out eye primer like a fountain. I really hate the packaging on this, but it's a really good formula, so I still use it, and I'm just so annoyed constantly by the packaging of this. I do think that the formula is better than the P. Louise base, which shall not be named. 3. Frick. As you can see, I kind of just took it out of the thing. I put it onto one eye, and now I'm going to take the product on this eye and put it onto this eye as well, because I literally squirted out way too much product for both eyes. And while I'm doing the eyelid primer, question number 8 is, have you ever struggled with being mixed? I'll say tentatively, but not to the same degree as other types of mixed people have been. So I feel like generally when you think of biracial people, you think of somebody who's half white and half black. At least that's kind of the standard for, I guess, American people to think of. But me and my older sister are both half white and half Asian, and we both have very different experiences, because she definitely looks a lot more Asian than I do, and I look white. I think most of the struggle for me, at least, has been just internalizing that and finding a place to fit in. The area I grew up in is pretty much like 40% Asian. On many occasions I've been told that I'm not Asian, either because I don't look Asian, which is true, but I mean, I feel like I don't look not Asian, I don't know. And I feel like there's a huge stereotype that Japanese people in particular are the most like whitewashed Asians, which is the worst thing you could ever say. It's always been kind of weird not really feeling like I have a place with either community. It's whack, but it's a blessed experience, and I'm very proud of who I am, so yeah. Okay, in true me fashion, I've already done one eye off camera. I really want to use one of the new indie brand palettes I just got from Kaleidos Cosmetics. They're really cool, like luxurious, very futuristic kind of indie brand, and they came out with this Futurism collection of 3 different eyeshadow palettes. Futurism 1 kind of reminded me of the Melt Gemini palette. It's just some like nice greens and pukey brown and grungy tone shades, and I love it so much. But I feel like I've done a lot of different eye looks with this color scheme already, so I'm not going to use this one today on my channel. And then Futurism 2 is called Cyber Bronze on the neutral side, but there's some really beautiful like warm tone shades in here, very, again, pukey browns, which I love. Today I'm using the Futurism 3 Astro Pink palette. First of all, can we just acknowledge the fucking packaging on this? Oh! And here is the palette in all its glory. You've got some beautiful like berry tone shades in here, some blues, and it's kind of cooler toned, and I just love it, so yeah. And while we're doing eyeshadow, question number 9, your biggest fears in life. Okay, go off. Just gonna grab some of this pink shade here. I lost a slip that had the shade names on there, but it's fine. I don't have one singular biggest fear in life. I have many fears in life. Probably one of the biggest fears that's followed me for a long time is cancer, because my family does have a history of cancer. So actually scratch that. No, I'm probably more scared of dementia just because I've seen firsthand like what my grandmother's gone through and what it's done to our family. That's just such a painful way for your life to end, and that just makes me sad. So that's probably one of my biggest fears, is having that. And then just like on a broader scope of things, failure mostly in my like academic and career goals. That's been something that's really followed me for a long time. Just always feeling the need to prove myself in a certain way. I feel like the STEM field in particular and what I'm looking to go into, dominated by people who don't necessarily take me seriously, whether it's the fact that I'm a very small young woman or because I do like to wear makeup and cute dresses and stuff. I just feel like in general people have this idea that an academic woman has to be a meek one, and I don't like that at all. I just don't want to at 50 look at my life and be like, I'm not doing what I love. By the way, I suck. I took this shade here that's kind of like a mauve tone transition shade and just dusted that all throughout the crease just to blend out the purple shade that I used. And now on a wet flat shader brush, I'm gonna take this kind of like pinky tone silvery shade. It's such a cool, very unique duochrome that I've never seen before. On a happier note, question number 10 is, what has been your biggest achievement lately? I don't know, I've kind of just been sitting at home. I rewatched all of Parks and Rec in 3 days, if that's an achievement. Oh, shit. Last week on Wednesday, I got a call from a scholarship organization that I'd applied to in December and then just kind of promptly forgot about. But they were calling me back to let me know that I got the scholarship, which was awesome. Particularly proud of this one because it's from the Alzheimer's Foundation of America, which I wrote about my grandmother's experience and how it's affected my family. And it was a very deeply personal essay, probably the one I put the most work into, and it paid off, so that was awesome. Honestly, anything at this point helps my education because Mama's got to pay for med school on her own. Thanks for asking that one, because this video was taking a sad turn that made me real happy. Just gonna take this kind of like blueberry shade right here. It's a really cool like blue, black, purple duochrome shift, and I'm just gonna pat that right on the edge of where I placed the silver. I'm just gonna go back into that purple and smoke it out onto the lower lash line. And question number 11 is kind of like a personal life goals one. What field of medicine do I want to see myself in? I think I've answered this one before, but I actually have a kind of revised answer. So I've said previously that I really want to go, that I'm planning to go into neurosurgery, particularly neurological disease research, so I can work on finding treatments and cures for Alzheimer's and dementia. But recently I've thought to myself, if that doesn't work out, I'd actually be super interested in going into like surgical dermatology, possibly dermatological oncology, which would be treating skin cancer. There's just so many different things you could go into, which I think is just super cool. The entire field is broadening and I love that. Finally, as my finishing touch to this look, I'm taking this black here with like little micro glitters in it. You know I hate mattes with micro glitters, but I will make an exception for a good like matte black with micro glitter in it because I feel like it just gives some really fun dimension to the eyes. And I'm just gonna take a bit of this and smoke it out onto the outer corner. For mascara today, I figured I'd use an oldie but a goodie. This is the Urban Decay Perversion Mascara. And question number 12 is brands I no longer find appealing. Urban Decay, honestly, they haven't really released anything that I've been like, whoa, I should get that. Really, the only two things I deeply love from them would be this mascara and the setting sprays. Like Urban Decay, I just generally don't really vibe with a lot of their products. Smashbox, I'm just kind of generally a little bit bored by. I feel like their releases are very like cut and dry milquetoast. Stila as well, I feel like they've had like a lot of misses with just like stuff on the quality end. Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, I was gonna purchase the lipsticks on launch day and then I fell asleep and the one I wanted was sold out by the time I got up. And now I'm glad I did not purchase that because, oof. I don't really have a ton of brands that I just like do not purchase from. Like, I can only really think of like 3 off the top of my head, which would be like Kat Von D, JSC, and Lime Crime. For highlighter, because I've been using it as my mirror the whole time, I might as well just use it on my face. This is the Marc Jacobs Omega Glaze All Over Foil Luminizer in the shade Worth the Wait, my whole ass baby. Final question was just a very vague, open-ended one that says life updates, ? And I do have a very big life update that I've been wanting to share, but I haven't really found a way to talk about it. Whoa. Wow, okay. Marc Jacobs did not come to play today. Basically in early July, so at the beginning of next month, I'm going to be pre-filming a bunch of things. It's for about 1 to 2 weeks. I'll be out of commission recovering from surgery. So it's been a few months in the making, but in the second week of July I will be having a breast augmentation, and I'll be making a video explaining the entire process, kind of documenting it and then sharing my reasoning for it. There is a medical reason behind it. It's not just purely aesthetic, although there's nothing wrong with that as well. I will be sharing the process with you guys because I really do believe in being transparent about that type of thing. So if you guys can send me your best prayers if you believe in that, positive manifestations if you believe in that, just generally good vibes, that would be awesome. Just to finish off for lips, I'll be using the Eyelabs Sadahi and ColourPop collaboration in the shade Dulce. I don't know if I like this lip. I feel like it's a little bit much, but I'm a little bit much, so that's fine. Just to finish off the face, I'll be using the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day Setting Spray. I got my makeup done earlier this month in LA at Blushington, so I'll post the look on screen. That was very fun. They did a great job, but they used a setting spray. It smells like coconuts, and it's delightful, so I'm gonna use this one right now. And this is the completed look. Alright guys, here's the completed look I created, just testing out a bunch of new releases and chatting my little heart out while spilling all my secrets. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For me, it was just a big relief to be able to talk to a bunch of friends on the internet who are also strangers. Thank you for always giving me a creative outlet and an emotional outlet as well. You guys have no idea how much you mean to me. And before I cry, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below, and also follow me on Instagram to see makeup looks like this, posted vaguely, sometimes regularly, I don't know. Queen of consistency right here. And if you made it to the very end of this video, you radiant little sunfish, you get the bonus meme. Bye.